Kept this one here to love for entertaining. I mean, nobody sells their homes on St. Charles Avenue. You can see the historical plaque on the gate. That was the first governor of Louisiana home. It's called the Claiborne Cottage. I don't know if any of you guys remember this, but the second home here to left, the dude's blowing leaves. This is the Belfort Home. This was used in the MTV show Real World a couple years ago, where young adults, it's a reality show. They came here during Mardi Gras for 2 weeks and party hard. He got wild and crazy, and that's where they got to live, sleep, and do all their wild things they were doing. All right, look here to the left again. Check out these beautiful crepe myrtle trees that are losing their foliage and everything. But wow, look at all them beads hanging down. So you can see some trees are better catchers than others, but that's been hanging down all year. Like I said, part of our special culture. Let me look down that street. All right, I'm gonna fudge. I'm gonna roll the dice. Hopefully, the little rent-a-cops in there will cut us some slack, but I'm sure somebody on here will pay for the ticket, right? Mr. Mason Dupuis, now you know where you're staying at? You know what I'm talking about? All right. All right, kiddos, here we go. Let's, hang on. You see the po-po, let me know, all right? But take the streetcar up, guys. It's really neat to do. Obviously, this city's a little slow right now, but it ain't going to be slow starting tomorrow because obviously we got the Saints and the Buccaneers playing here tomorrow, which I'll be in the Superdome. And then next Friday is the BCS Sugar Bowl. So Florida Gators, I've seen some folks sneaking in. And then the Cincinnati Bearcats. And then, of course, big time destination for celebrating New Year's Eve is the great city of New Orleans. So it'll start getting really crazier probably tomorrow and Monday. Let's take a little peekaboo through here. Now remember, first part of our journey's dry. I'll let you know once we get into a little flood water from the worst civil engineering disaster of all time in the United States. Because more than 50% of our city's below sea level, we do not chunk anybody in the ground for burial. Look here to the right. This was the first American cemetery. This is Lafayette Cemetery. Americans were very simply back then bricklayers, so brick and mortar and white paint does not hold up well to the 200 years of heat and humidity and 60 inches of rainfall that we get here annually, but we are buried up in the air. We left it up to the Frenchies. They were here first. They buried Grandma and Grandpa's in the ground. The river would overflow its banks, so what would happen next, folks? Grandma and Grandpa would do the backstroke down the street, so that's what we decided we had to do something a little bit different. This is my little squeeze problem because that's Commander's Palace up there to the left, and it's open today. And this is the flagship of the famous Brennan's restaurant, most famous restaurant family in the South. And this is the top 5 restaurant in the United States, #1 in the South. Here she is. This is where Emerald, Paul Prudhomme, Susan Spicer owns. Bayonne is about 35 other great executive chefs around the country got the culinary start. This is also where the bread pudding got started, our famous dessert. If you want it for your dessert, you have to order it with your entree because that's how long it takes to prepare. But there she is. All right, hang on. I'm going to do something I think I can do. Hang on. Here we go. Let me spin this real quick through here, and then we got to get out of here because I don't want any Range Rovers, Mercedes, and Lexuses and crap like that. Hang on, peeps. Whoa! Jesus, Billy, good thing you get paid the big bucks. All right, that's enough of this. I got to get out of here. All right, look to your left. This is Miss Ella Brennan's beautiful home here to your left. This is where she lives at. And then her siblings own the next couple homes here to the right that are in the business. This is what I really wanted to show you, folks. Look at the next home here coming up here left, the beautiful white home. This home was the main home in a movie made here last year in New Orleans starring Mr. Brad Pitt. We're got a slow group here today. The Diaries of Benjamin Buttons. When he reversed aged, that's where he kept coming back to see his mom, and he met his little girlfriend and became his wife, and she ended up changing his diaper. That's where it was filmed at. All right, let's get out of here because I see another popo coming at me. Check out this home here to the right. Now remember, huge melting pot of many diversified cultures settled here. We'll get into that in a little bit, but that's a little Swiss chalet action there to your right. Obviously, we'll get into French and Spanish, Cajun, Creoles a little bit, but yeah, Germans, Italians, Irish. Obviously, the Americans all bringing their architectural gems from around the world. But look here to the left. This is the most priceless fence in the South. This is the famous cornstalk fence made out of cast iron before the Civil War. If you're in the French Quarter, the Cornstalk Fence Hotel has about 10 feet of this. And then Colonel Short, that was his Confederate colonel during the Civil War, sugarcane plantation home there to the left. Both the fence and the home have National Historical Landmarks here, plaques on the fence, which we have more than any other city in the United States, over 150, because it's a very old city. The same company does the Ghost and Vampire tours in the French Quarter night, also does Garden District tours during the morning and the afternoon. $20 a pop, little walking tours, and you don't get to go in the homes. They just kind of walk in the sidewalk and tell you stories and things like that. A little bit nippy here today, though. All right, coming up on your right-hand side, second house with all the red ribbons and stuff. This is a early Greek Revival home built in 1859. Coming up here to the right. It's owned by the Opera House. You can rent it out for wedding receptions and parties and things like that. They just did a makeover too. They just redid the fence and painted it and all that neat stuff, which is kind of cool. All right, once we get past the green brick home will be the French Consulate's home, where she gets to live at free of charge. No big deal, but keep looking right up there inside that white picket fence. You got to look now because you can't see it once I turn there. But that's Toby's Corner. That's the oldest home standing in the Garden District. Dates back to 1807. And it's what's known as a Louisiana-raised Creole cottage because it's about 12 feet off the ground. Because way back when, you didn't even have a levee system to protect you from the mighty Mississippi River. You can get a little picky boutique up, just kind of hard to see through all the foliage. But beautiful property. All right, 2 reasons why I came down this street. First is we're gonna go by the #1 quarterback family in the NFL right now. Their sons have been 2 winning Super Bowl quarterback champions. Yes, sirree. Look to your right, and this is Archie Manning's home. His lovely wife, Olivia Manning. This is where they raised their 3 sons, Cooper, Peyton, and Eli Manning, right there to the right. Of course, Archie used to play for the New Orleans Saints for many years, did a color commentary to the boys, got off into college. Now all they do is travel the NFL circuit, but that's their family crib right there to the right. Another one of our great ambassadors to the great city of New Orleans. Go up to this next stop sign to the left and show you Ann Rice's old home and tell you who just bought it. Before I get there, to the right, this home just went up for sale 3 weeks ago. And since it's on my route, I decided to call on it, not because I could afford it, because I wanted to share some info with you. This home dates back to 1855, a little over 5,000 square foot home. They're asking $4.8 million for it. One reason why I'm showing it to you, though, you see the color scheme? You don't see any of that here, right? In the American sector, that's Creole colors. About 25 years ago, a family decided they wanted some color to their home. But we'll talk about the Creoles later when we get to the French Quarter, but they just kind of fancied it up there. All right, to your left through the stop sign is Ann Rice's old home. Sold this, 6-7 years ago. Guess who just bought it a couple weeks ago, folks? Miss Sandra Bullock and Jesse James bought this home. She's another one of those great ambassadors and great people who's been doing great things here for many years, flying underneath the radar. Obviously, a couple weeks ago, she was on the national news for donating a lot of her hard-earned money to help rebuild some very historical public schools in our city. They got flooded. But look on the gate. You see the 1239? Come down a couple inches below it. Can anybody recognize what's engraved in the fence? They're skulls. See how you can see through some of the eyeballs when you look at them? It just happens to be ironic. It's on the vampire lady's home, but 1853 we lost 10,000 people to the mosquito, the worst yellow fever epidemic in United States history. Look to the left. You can see them a little bit clearer in the sunlight. See the little skulls, little eyeballs? Yeah. So one sugarcane plantation, the owner thought he'd put around the perimeter of his property the skulls that prevent the boogeyman from coming in there and getting his family sick. Obviously didn't work, but it's just kind of something neat to talk about. You know, you can look to the left, some have fallen off, some have not, but it's just part of the dealio of our great, unique city here. All right, let me go show you one other thing.